Hello, my dudes, and welcome to my first journaling video on this channel, which I've been delaying for a while, and I've been really looking forward to it. It's just I wasn't sure how I wanted to go about it. I put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure that these videos turn out really good, and then I end up never making the video in the first place because I'm so focused on making it turn out good. So we're just gonna hop into it. We're just gonna dive right in. We're gonna test the waters, dip our little toes in the water. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're making a journal page. Specifically, we are doing a plushie page, like a plushie spread, which is what I like to do most. I post a lot of them over on Instagram at Teddy Mush. If you want to follow me there, that's kind of like my main social media account. And today we are going to be making a plushie spread for Cornelius, my jellycat bashful goat. He's medium size. I love him dearly, and he does not have a journal spread yet, so we are going to do that today. A lot of people ask me, like, what do you use to make your journal spreads? And basically my answer is a lot of stickers and a lot of pictures I print off of Pinterest. I like to print off just little like aesthetic pictures that I think match the vibes of what I want the personality of the plushie to be. So in my mind, Cornelius is kind of like, he loves gardening and plants, and Cornelius just has a regal tone to it, so I included like some classical statues. I often do like to print off pictures of the stock photos for whatever jelly I'm doing a journal of, and those just kind of add a little pizzazz. I don't know. That's just what I do. Some more pictures. I get a lot of collage paper like this just to have as a background because it really helps fill up the page when you're putting stuff on if you have this instead of just your plain white, or in this case, gridded background. So that's what this is for. And got some stickers. These are from Paper Source. These were gifted to me for Christmas, and I can't wait to use them. And these I got at Dollar Tree, believe it or not, and they're just little cardstock labels that are stickers. So you can write on them, and it just looks really cute as opposed to just writing directly on the page. It's just for a little variety. So, without further ado, let's get started. Oh, actually, one more thing I forgot to mention. That's just a signature for me for these pages, is I love to take a Polaroid picture of the jellycat. What this one is missing is a little note underneath. So I just like to write their little name. This is Cornelius. Just put a little star for funsies. And I like to put the date that I took the picture. So the date is January 2nd of 2024. We will set aside for later use. So the first thing I like to do is decide where I'm going to place the title for the page, and then any background photos are going to go first. So I'm going to pick my background pieces, and those are just going to go down there to see if I can get a feel for it. I'm going to do the title across here like this. My go-to mild liners. I love these. I have many a color. I like to stick to neutrals a lot. I do have yellow because yellow is my favorite color, but most of my mild liners are neutral colors. I get them at Michael's so I can buy them individually. I don't tend to like all the colors in the packs, so it seems like a waste of money. Rather, I just get the individual colors I want. First, I'm going to put down these pages just because that kind of cements a background. This is just some double-sided tape that I get at Dollar Tree because I work there and it's easy. Double-sided tape is going to be your best friend. It's a lot easier than getting regular tape and folding it over, and it just, it just looks neat. It doesn't have any bumps in it when you put it down. I also use Mod Podge depending on what I am putting down. That's usually for any smaller pieces of paper or things like that just, tape wouldn't work very well with. That goes down, and we go to the next one. Of course, I'm like literally running out of tape. I decide to record a YouTube video and I'm running out of tape. I have more. I just have to go get up and get it. Ah! I can feel that it's running low. There we go. Told ya. Sometimes I accidentally do grab too much like this, or I have like hanging off the side. I like to try and not waste the tape, so I just kind of cut off that little bit. And I just put that piece back down wherever it can go. Just adds more security to the piece of paper, and it goes down. Now I'm going to do the title, and I'm thinking it's going to be kind of cursive font over the top. So I'm going to start with his name first. There it is, Cornelius. Most of my pages I start with the phrase meet blank, depending on the name of the plushie, so I'm going to add that in here. There we go. So once I get to this point, I kind of start to lay out my main pieces for the spread, just to get an idea of where they're going to go before I actually do anything permanent. So that's what we're going to do now. I like to start with the Polaroid just because it is a bigger piece. I'm thinking it's going to go here. I'm just setting that down for now. Then I like to go to my stock photos. I like to kind of layer things and mismatch them. You don't want it to be perfectly aligned all the time, just to give it that scrapbooky feel. This is just some plain brown cardstock. This is what I use to write any sort of descriptors or any text. Sometimes I do write it directly on the page, just depends on what you want to do specifically for that spread. But most of the time I like to do the little information on them, like their name, the type of jellycat, stuff like that, I like to do on a piece of cardstock. In my head, canonically, Cornelius is a black coffee drinker, so I think this is fitting. I like to layer things, overlap corners. I think this would look really cool here. No, I think those are too close together now. Maybe here. And then move that up a little bit. Better. Make sure that you glue down the right things at the right time. Like, if this is going to overlap on top of this needs to go down first before this does. Okay, so we are going to take all of these off. Let's start with our Polaroid. Tape is kind of what I use 99% of the time. It's just easy. It's just so easy to just put down some tape. When I first started doing this, I worried that using tape on these Polaroids like this would affect the picture in some way. It doesn't. It weirdly doesn't. So if that's by any chance something somebody was worried about, no need to fret. Your pictures are safe. Back up again if you like. So we are going to write on it first before we tape it down. That's just something that I found works better for me. The writing tends to come out neater when I write on it first and then tape it. So this is what I use for my white text on things like this cardstock that's brown. Just makes it pop, and it's a little different than using a black pen. So this is a Jelly Roll 1mm pen. It's pretty neat. There are different sizes. I use the 1mm just because it suits my handwriting size better. For a finer detail, I would use like a 0.5mm, depending on what I'm doing. I just realized that it's oddly quiet if I'm not describing what I'm doing. This is just kind of the, what do you want to call it? Format, I guess, that I've adopted for these journal spreads. Name, type, size, adopted, which is just the date that I got the jellycat. Sometimes I do favorite color or favorite food, or both. Kind of depends on the size of the paper, I guess, the size of the cardstock, and just what I feel like doing that day. I think we're gonna do favorite food. There's a little cut in the paper there. Whoopsie poopsie. Accidents happen. When I do things like that, like little mistakes like that, I kind of just work around them as opposed to starting over. I think it just kind of gives it a little character. Or at least I like to think that's what it does. For filling out the format, I like to use a different color pen just for funsies. Current go-to pens, I'm literally not even sure what this brand is. All I know is I get them at Walgreens. And they're really good. I like how they write. So, that's what we're gonna use. I like to blow on it sometimes or just flap it like this to make sure the ink is fully dry, because I have had so many times where I've accidentally smudged the ink and I just want to cry every time. Got some tapes. and down it goes. I think this is looking a little empty down here, so I think I'm gonna add like a little washi tape border, which is another thing I do like to add a lot, is washi tapes. Add a little pizzazz to the page, differentiate a little bit from just the background. So I'm thinking between these two, which one do I want on the border? I think I'm gonna go with this gridded one. Most of these washi tapes I get on Amazon, or I get them at Michael's. Where is the edge of this tape? I got it. And then we just cut right at the end. And I just fold in the little corner here so it doesn't look so blocky. Lay down the stock photos on the side. For these, I'm actually going to use my Mod Podge, just because the shapes are irregular, a little easier that way. This is the Mod Podge. I'm not sure, like I've never used anything besides like the actual brand Mod Podge. I'm sure anything else would do that's like the same thing. And you just take your little picture. You don't want to do too much. A little goes a long way. So I just spread it out quite thin. This paintbrush is the one I regularly use for my Mod Podge. It's just like doesn't bend anymore. Like the hairs are just permanently fixed in the position they are in right now. For what I use it for, it doesn't really matter. Your hands are prone to get sticky after this, so be mindful of that. And I just press it down. Make sure all the edges are pressed down all the way. And we'll do the same with this one. I've been doing these journal pages for how long now? I think the first one I did was in like July, I want to say. I think around July. 6 months of this journal stuffs. I've been really enjoying it. It's been a really good hobby for me and a really good way to let out like energy, I guess. Obviously not in the sense of like physical energy. Sometimes I find myself in like lull periods where I don't really do anything, and it's not out of not wanting to, it's out of just like I'm so stuck in not doing anything that I can't get myself to start. Journaling has really kind of broken that cycle for me. I'm able to just pick up my supplies and just get started, which is something I was scared I would never be able to do again. I just had such an intense period of burnout for like literally like 2 years, and it was pretty bad. It feels good to be creative, and it feels good to create things that I enjoy and that I like sharing and inviting other people to do with me. Nice to feel a sense of community. I've really bonded with the people that I've met online. We're gonna move on to the rest of the pictures for this side. I have too many pictures, I think, which is fine, because these are pictures I could always use for a different journal spread. It'll get used regardless. I might cut this one a little smaller and fit it in this space. I do really want to use this one because it does meld so well with this cutout here. Okay, so those are done. I think another thing I'm going to add for this page is a favorite song, which is not something I do for every single page, but every once in a while I like to add it. A song that came to my head for Cornelius is Atlas Hands by, what was his name? I think it's Benjamin something Leftwich. I usually like to use these stickers. Probably go in this space up here. Sometimes I do cut them to fit the space, but I don't think it'll be necessary for this. So I'd like to denote that it is like a favorite song by just doing a little music note at the top. I'll use my Muji pen, trusty Muji pen. This one is a 0.5 millimeter. I hope I spelled that right. If I didn't, I'm sorry, Benjamin. If you ever watch this video, my sincere apologies. So we just peel that off and stick it on. So at this point, I'm adding in smaller details, washi tape, and stickers just to kind of bring everything together. So I just boop. I like to add it to corners of pictures like this so it kind of looks like it's taped in. And what else? Where else can we add it? Maybe a different color? I think this like bluish gray would look kind of nice. First, we cut. Boop. I do kind of try to put elements that are similar in like opposing directions just to add some movement to the page. For this one, I'm actually going to cut off the little white. I know that kind of ruins the stamp look, but I'm not gonna deal with cutting around all those little scalloped edges. That's just not something I'm willing to do. Grab my little scribby scraps. And where are you gonna go? Oh, maybe over here? Yeah, bridging the two pictures together. I have this little ticket that I think I'm gonna put in this corner here to cover up the page number. I don't always do that. It's not like something I go out of my way to do. Sometimes the page number just kind of ruins the vibe, so just cover it up with whatever, sticker, paper, whatever's available. And now it is time for stickers. Got all my stickers down, got all my text down. I like to just go in and add little circles and dots just to kind of give it a, magical feel to it. I like to use the fine end of the dual tip mild liners to, again, add just little details. You kind of gotta go with your gut for these and just see where it takes you. Because that's kind of how you get the best result, really. If you think about it too hard, you won't get what you're looking for. I think that pretty much does it. Thank you very much if you stuck through to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed doing this. It's something that I've been asked to do a lot, and I'm excited to actually finally have sat down and done a plushie page for you guys. Let me know in the comments if you decide to do something like this and share it with me, because I really love seeing how many people I've inspired to make these pages, because I love seeing them on my feed too. I really love making them. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.